Hey everyone, welcome back to the M&R Show. I'm Ron,
Now, Malcolm,
and it's been a very heated MVP debate this year in the NBA. So, Mark, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, there's a lot of things that we could talk about this. You got Jokic over here looking like one of the best players in the NBA that G talked about early in the season. And we got Joel Embiid who's over here dominating. I think this is going to be a great matchup. And I think that we have a lot to talk about. G over here, the analyst, he's in it. He's in it. So, we can't wait to talk about it. So make sure y'all tune in, though. Make sure y'all tune in.
So my MVP for the year, expert opinion, real opinion, it has to be Nikola Jokic. Like, let's stop the games. Let's stop all this entertainment and other stuff. Let's see, Joel's cool. I mean, it's cute. He scored more, but Jokic beats him at everything else besides that. I mean, I guess if you want to consider defense, but how important is really defense is? Joel not even the best defender on his team, but I'm not even going to really get into that. And how he's been slumping lately with Harden.
Yes, sir, Mark.
But like I said, Nikola Jokic, let's see, he has not one, but two max contract players out. And he's a 6 seed. I mean, y'all gave Westbrook MVP being a 6 seed. I mean, what Jokic doing is his story. I mean, not only is he the best offensive player in the world, not only is he an elite scorer, not only is he the best playmaker in the world, he's a 7-footer that can do everything. And single-handedly, he has the Malcolm and Ron show in his starting lineup and winning NBA games, literally. Like,
hey, 6 seed, baby.
Like, what are we doing here? I promise you, I would go as far as to say this. People call me crazy when I said the Lakers weren't going to have home court advantage. I look like a freaking, I look like a future. So I'm telling you this now. If the Nikola Jokic Denver Nuggets play the Golden State Warriors in the first round, they will win. That's how high I am on that.
High take alert, Mom.
But maybe we should have had this as the preview of what he just said. That's just the craziest stuff. You have some very wizardry of talking about the Lakers. Congratulations.
No worries.
But the accusations that you bring up as far as saying that the Nuggets are going to come into Golden State and beat Golden State is just a big accusation that I don't think that you want to live by. I understand you got the Celtics in the background, the Celtics dream. I know you got that confidence. You feel like today's your lucky day. This is, St. Patrick's week. I understand all that. But at the end of the day, we're talking about who is going to be the most valuable player, and that's definitely Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, we're not talking about the best player in the NBA because at the end of the day, we already know who it is. I really respect you, and I think it's Jokic. But if we look at who's the most valuable player right now, I really think it's Joel Embiid. You're talking about a guy who's averaging almost 30 points a game and 11 rebounds off 49% from the field. And he was doing this way before James Harden came to the equation. He was dealing with his second best player was before Tyrese Maxey went off. It was Tobias Harris. So he's been doing all this and been the top 3 seed with basically I guess like supporting cast around him. It wasn't really any star player. It wasn't Ben Simmons. He had to deal with the Ben Simmons fiasco. He had to deal with everything like that. And he's been dominating ever since. Now, I understand that you're talking about a couple games. He's talking about defensively, how things slack. It's hard to ingratiate a guy like James Harden who doesn't play defense to be able to do all this stuff. Joel Embiid has to overdo what he has to do to help James Harden out, And that's just stuff that you have to do when you add a guy like James Harden. He's just a different dynamic player. They're going to have to get their chemistry right because I'm telling you, when they play against Boston, it's going to be a problem. But we're not going to worry about that. By the end of the day, we have to understand what that's how I take too. But we have to understand what Joel Embiid has done for the Philadelphia 76ers right now. They kept them afloat. They're still second in the Eastern Conference in a tough Eastern Conference. So we have to give respect where respect is due.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of different points what you both made, but I'm here to say why the Joker won't win the MVP, even though he probably should win the MVP. He won't win the MVP because what we all know is the narrative. He doesn't have the narrative behind him. Like the narrative, for one, I think Giannis should be in the conversation alone. He hasn't been. Also because of the narrative as well. Like, I don't think Giannis should get the award, but the fact that this has been a 2-man race for the last 2 months that's a joke anyway. But I think Embiid just kind of has like the social media behind him. He has ESPN behind him. He has Fox Sports behind him. You literally have, everyone knows I love Nick Wright. He has literally slandered Jokic. They have segments where he's slandering Jokic, saying that do you want Jokic to be like another Steve Nash, which is a whole nother argument. But they're literally slandering his name. And it's sad because you think, oh, people's going to say like, oh, that's a dumb person saying a dumb take. But people listen to people in power positions. So it's just like, Jokic is going to have that voter fatigue too. Like he's going to have that voter fatigue, and he has the media kind of slandering him slightly. I think he'll get a lot of first place votes. I just think Embiid has too much like willpower behind him, and with Harden kind of acting a fool right now, and with the Ben Simmons, and with people slandering Tobias Harris, which I've tried to defend but can't anymore. He has too much like that he's overcoming and still playing well, which equals the MVP. Like, that seems like that's how you win it. And this is, like you said, with the Westbrook thing and everything, like you can win an MVP even as a lower seed. But if the 76ers stay afloat, they stay like a top 4 seed, I think it's Joel Embiid's award to lose.
But think of this question, though. We see that the Nuggets have been faltering as of late. They've been a little struggling as of late. If they fall into that play-in spot, do you think they're making the playoffs?
Oh yeah, they'll probably make it. They'll be the Lakers. If the Lakers are there, they'll be the Lakers. I'm pretty confident.
I don't know, bro. Cause
that's what I'm asking. If they fall into that play-in spot,
the Timberwolves, right?
They'll beat the Clippers. They'll get in because they'll beat the Clippers. If they had to play the Lakers, if they drop that first game and gotta play the Lakers that second, you don't know.
Yeah, it's like LeBron the closeout game.
Yeah, you don't know what
Westbrook in a closeout game.
Oh yeah,
it'd be a great game to see. I don't want to make that take of today because it's like I really bet my money against LeBron. No, but realistically, like I think Jamal Murray is going to play in that game. Allegedly, they say he's not close, but he's practicing with the G League team. I think he can get out there. It's been over a year now since the ACL tear. Michael Porter Jr. is also rumored to be coming back.
Pelicans looking a little good with CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram right now. Then you got the Clippers.
Yeah, the West low-key has like the bottom of the East is kind of like, what are we doing here? And the East is like a top 6 like dogs, but the bottom of the West is like I think a lot of those teams like the Mavericks or those teams at the bottom haven't really a chance. So it's just like it's gonna be a dogfight. Yeah, but if Embiid somehow gets them to like a top 5, 4 seed. If the Joker gets them to a top 4 seed, I don't know how hard that's gonna be for them. But if that happens, it's like we're just taking it away from the kid for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, they're 3 games behind. I really don't think they're going to catch up with the Warriors. I don't know about
the Suns. No.
Can't they catch up to the Warriors?
Well, the Suns are the first seed.
Yeah, Suns are not.
They're 6 games behind. They're like 6. They're 6 games behind the Warriors. They're 6 games behind the Warriors. They're like 2 games behind the Mavericks. They're 3 games behind the Jazz. So I think that they have a lot of ground to catch up. They're closer to the play-in than they're closer to the 3rd seed.
Literally, they're a half game above Minnesota right now. They have the same wins. Minnesota has 1 more loss, so just a half game up.
I think we should watch out for Golden State dropping because they're not gonna have Curry the rest of the year.
I thought it was only 2 weeks.
Or did it?
There's only 10 games left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. They really can go like 1-9 these next 10 games and like literally.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting. I think Embiid has so much behind him again that he's probably just gonna come out on top. But it just like if the Nuggets miraculously get to like a top 4 seed, and it's like, bro, like this man is like Will Barton. I like Will and everything. But he's like the 2nd or 3rd best player on the team sometimes. He's probably the 2nd best scorer most of. I like Aaron Gordon. You kind of have to get him his buckets. Will Barton can actually shot create. That's your 2nd best guy. I love Will Baltimore. DMV. We all DMV guys here. But like, yeah, that's tough. Like to pitch that to like coming to the season, you told me Will Barton is your second best scorer and he's your best creator from that probably like position. I'm like, oh, are they even going to make the playoffs at this point? So I feel like we're kind of like, if we use revisionist history on that, we probably give Jokic a little bit more credit too.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we understand what Joel Embiid has done, and we have to give benefit of the doubt because they are second in the East, and it's a competitive East. Like, okay, I know we're talking about the down part of the West, but we're talking about the top of the competitive East. To be honest, where majority of the best teams reside right now. So I think that's what we have to look at and see how Joel Embiid is able to do this night in, night out. And let's not forget that division that he's into, the Atlantic division, because you got Boston in that division, you got Brooklyn in that division, you got Toronto in that division. He is winning in and out and doing that. He's being able to be successful. So you have to understand that and be able to realize that with Joel Embiid.
Damn. Hey, he killed it, that division argument. That's that division argument.
I'm not gonna lie, that division, I didn't even realize that division is definitely a dogfight. And Boston, by the way, has one game, has 45 wins, and the Philadelphia 76ers only have 44. So I mean, hey, the Boston has another win. I mean, of course they have it in a loss column too, but the 1 through 4 seed, the 1 through 4 seed in the East are like 3 games apart total. Somehow Miami's first. I have no idea. Like, I think they're just one of those teams just gonna rack up wins because they're just team basketball. But Miami has like a 3-game lead, and that is the craziest stat to me. I have all the stats we've said today that they're even that high right now with all the injuries they've had and the 9% from 3 since January 1st from Jimmy Butler. It's been crazy. But like you said, Mal, I'm surprised that Philadelphia is also the 2nd seed. They've literally traded away their second best player. They lost their best shooter. I love Thibault. He's hard to start. They had to start him because it's hard and it's so lackadaisical in defense. They probably would start Danny Green if any other player was there that was going to try a little bit better. So it's like Embiid is also, he's a viable candidate. No one's going to be upset if he wins the award. I think that's also a point that needs to be made before we end. Any last statements from anyone?
I'm just glad that a big man is going to win it this year. If Kevin Durant was healthy the whole year, he would have won it. But, hey.
Of course he says this, Mom.
Yeah, stuff happens. But, shout out to the big man. They was almost extinct. We dealt with Roy Hibbert being the best center in the league before. Now look at us now.
Joakim Noah.
Yeah, Noah.
Top 6 year.
Yeah. He was in the MVP and one of the MVP candidates too, right?
Sure.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's really fun to watch big men being the top MVP candidate, especially Giannis as a third one too, as the top third MVP candidate. So give respect to where it's due with these big men. They're evolving. They're not extinct. They're evolving right now. And we gotta respect that and understand that.
Yeah.
And on that note, respect the big man, Malcolm Napier. And on that note, if you are listening on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, make sure you are subscribing, sharing, liking, and commenting. Malcolm.
Hey, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Malcolm Ron Show. We have a lot of takes. Ron has his crazy takes about his sports and his wild Wizards. And, make sure, G, no layups. He has a lot of stuff that he has coming for y'all. So make sure y'all tune in. He talks about my Boston Celtics. So make sure y'all look into that too. But continue supporting, guys. And we'll see y'all later. Have a good one.
All right.